Child, you are facing a heavy decision, and the noise around you is overwhelming. Do not move until you hear this. I am giving you a spiritual discernment checklist to recognize which path is mine. Stay and find clarity, or walk away still carrying confusion. My child, I know the fog feels thick right now. Child, I know the fog feels heavy right now. You are standing in front of a decision that feels bigger than a simple choice. It is not just about what to do next. It is about your peace. It is about your future. It is about whether you are walking in my will or walking ahead of me. And because this decision matters so much, your heart is afraid. You are afraid of choosing the wrong door. You are afraid of staying where I told you to leave. You are afraid of leaving where I told you to stay. You are afraid of mistaking fear for wisdom. You are afraid of mistaking your own desire for my direction. And in the middle of that fear, your mind keeps spinning. Should you move forward? Should you wait? Should you speak? Should you remain silent? Should you give it one more chance? Should you finally release it? You have asked yourself these questions again and again. You have replayed conversations. You have examined small details. You have looked for signs, confirmations, warnings, and peace. But the more you try to force clarity, the more overwhelmed you feel. Beloved, I see you. I see the way this decision has followed you into quiet moments. I see how it sits on your chest when you wake up. I see how it returns when you are trying to rest. I see how one thought turns into 10, and 10 thoughts turn into fear. You are not confused because you do not care. You are confused because you care deeply. You care about obeying me. You care about not repeating the same painful cycle. You care about not opening your heart to something that will wound you again. You care about not walking away from something I may still be working on. That is why this feels so heavy. But listen to me carefully. I am not angry with you for needing clarity. I am not disappointed because you feel unsure. I am not standing over you, waiting for one wrong step so I can punish you. I am near. I am patient. I am steady. I am not the author of chaos. When I lead you, I do not crush you with panic. I do not push you with fear. I do not rush you with torment. My guidance may challenge you, but it will not destroy your peace. My correction may humble you, but it will not drown you in shame. My timing may require waiting, but it will not require confusion as your home. The fog you feel does not mean I have left you. Sometimes the fog comes because too many voices have gathered around your heart. The voice of fear says, decide quickly before everything falls apart. The voice of your past says, be careful because last time you trusted, you were hurt. The voice of pressure says, everyone else knows what they are doing. Why are you still unsure? The voice of people says, do what makes sense to us. The voice of pride says, you should already have the answer. And beneath all those voices, my whisper is still there. Quiet, gentle, faithful. But when panic is loud, my whisper can seem distant. That is why the first step is not rushing toward an answer. The first step is letting your soul become still enough to hear me. You have been trying to solve spiritually what cannot be solved by anxiety. You have tried to think your way into peace, but peace is not manufactured by overthinking. Peace is received when you return to my presence. You have asked me for a map, but sometimes I give you a lamp. A map shows the entire road. A lamp shows the next step. And child, I know that can feel uncomfortable. You want to see how the whole story ends before you trust me with the next sentence. You want to know what will happen if you say yes. You want to know what will happen if you say no. You want to know who will stay, who will leave, what will change, and what it will cost. But faith often begins before full understanding arrives. Faith says, Lord, I do not see everything, but I believe you see me. Faith says, I do not have all the answers, but I will not let fear become my guide. Faith says, I will pause before I move, because I would rather walk slowly with God than run quickly into confusion. My child, I do not need you to pretend you are certain when you are not. I do not need you to act strong while your heart is trembling. Bring the trembling to me. Bring the questions to me. Bring the fear you have been hiding. Bring the part of you that keeps asking, what if I miss God? You are not too much for me. Your uncertainty is not too messy for me. Your need for reassurance does not exhaust me. I am your father, and a good father does not mock a child who cannot see through the fog. A good father takes the child by the hand and says, walk with me. You do not have to see far. You only have to stay close. So before you make the decision, come closer. Before you send the message, come closer. Before you sign the paper, come closer. Before you walk away, come closer. Before you go back, come closer. Before you open another door, come closer. Before you close one forever, come closer. Do not move because fear is yelling. Do not stay because guilt is pulling. Do not return because loneliness is speaking. Do not leave because pride is wounded. Do not say yes because you are afraid another chance will never come. Do not say no because you are afraid of being stretched. Let me separate the noise from the truth. Let me show you what is fear and what is wisdom. Let me reveal what is pressure and what is peace. Let me uncover what is a distraction and what is divine direction. The enemy wants you to believe that confusion means you are trapped. He wants you to think, I will never know what to do. I always choose wrong. I cannot hear God. I cannot trust myself. But I am telling you today, confusion does not have to become your prison. When you bring it to me, confusion can become the place where you learn to surrender. You are not walking blindly when you are walking with me. You are only walking blindly when you move without peace. Ignore the warning in your spirit and silence my voice because another voice is louder. So breathe, beloved. Breathe before the answer comes. Breathe before the situation changes. Breathe before the door opens. Breathe before the door closes. Your clarity is not hidden from me. Your future is not out of my hands. This decision may feel heavy to you, but it is not heavy to me. I know the way. I know the timing. I know what is ahead. I know what you cannot see yet, and I will not abandon you in the fog. Stand still with me for a moment. Let the storm inside you settle. Let your heart stop running from imaginary disasters. Let your mind stop rehearsing every possible failure. You do not need to force an answer today out of fear. You need to return to my presence, because clarity does not begin with panic. Clarity begins with surrender. And before I show you which path is mine, I will first teach you how to recognize my peace. Have you ever forced a door open only to realize you walked into a storm? Pause there, child. Do not rush past that question. Have you ever wanted something so badly that you called it faith, but deep inside it was impatience? Have you ever ignored the unrest in your spirit because the opportunity looked good on the outside? Have you ever prayed for my will, but secretly hoped I would bless the choice you had already made? I ask you this not to shame you. I ask you this to awaken you, because sometimes you do not walk into confusion because I was silent. Sometimes you walk into confusion because you were moving too fast to listen. You felt the warning. You sensed the heaviness. You noticed the lack of peace. But the door was attractive. The promise sounded comforting. The timing looked convenient. The person said the right words. The opportunity seemed too good to lose, so you pushed. You explained away the uneasiness. You called delay an attack. You called pressure confirmation. You called anxiety excitement. You told yourself, maybe I am just scared, maybe I am overthinking, maybe this is what faith feels like. But child, faith and force are not the same. Faith trusts me. Force tries to control the outcome. Faith moves with peace, even when the road is unfamiliar. Force moves with panic, afraid that if it does not act now, everything will disappear. Think back gently, not with regret, but with wisdom. There were doors you begged to open, and when they opened, you discovered that what looked like an answer was actually a storm. You stepped in and found confusion. You found emotional exhaustion. You found yourself constantly trying to keep together what I never asked you to carry. And even there, I did not abandon you. Even in the storm you walked into, I was still merciful. I protected what could be protected. I healed what was wounded. I taught you what you could not see before. I turned even your rushed decision into a lesson of discernment. But now, beloved, I am inviting you to learn before the storm this time. Do not wait until peace is gone to ask whether the door was mine. Do not wait until your heart is drained to ask why you felt uneasy in the beginning. Do not wait until you are deep inside something heavy to admit that you entered it without my peace. This is the mercy of a pause. A pause can protect you from a path you were never meant to walk. A pause can reveal motives you did not know were driving you. A pause can expose whether you are being led by trust or pulled by fear. So ask yourself honestly, am I trying to open this door because God is leading me, or because I am afraid nothing else will come? Am I staying because there is peace, or because I fear starting over? Am I leaving because I am released, or because I am wounded and reacting? Am I saying yes because I have discerned, or because I want approval? Am I saying no because I have wisdom, or because fear has taught me to reject anything that requires courage? This question is not meant to trap you. It is meant to slow you down long enough to hear me, because I do not need you to force open what I have ordained. What is from me will not require you to betray your peace to receive it. What is from me will not demand that you silence every warning in your spirit. What is from me may require patience, courage, and obedience, but it will not require panic as the price of entry. So before you push that door again, stand still. Before you call it destiny, bring it to me. Before you call it rejection, ask whether it is protection. Before you call it delay, ask whether I am preparing something your eyes cannot yet see. Have you ever forced a door open and walked into a storm? Then let this time be different. Let wisdom answer before impulse moves. Let peace speak before pressure decides. Let me lead you through the door that does not just look open, but carries my presence. Child, now listen closely. One of the hardest parts of discernment is knowing the difference between fear and divine intuition, because both can feel strong. Both can make you pause. Both can cause your heart to react. Both can make you ask, is this God warning me, or am I just afraid? And when you have been hurt before, this becomes even harder. Pain can make fear sound like wisdom. Disappointment can make anxiety sound like protection. Old wounds can dress themselves in spiritual language and say, do not trust this, do not move, do not open your heart, do not try again. But my child, fear and divine intuition are not the same. Fear usually speaks from what happened behind you. Divine intuition speaks from what I know ahead of you. Fear says, this hurt me before, so everything like it will hurt me again. Divine intuition says, pause, pay attention, something here needs to be brought before God. Fear is frantic, my spirit is steady. Fear rushes you, my spirit leads you. Fear makes you feel trapped. My spirit gives you room to breathe. Fear often says, decide now or everything will fall apart. But divine intuition says, be still, do not move without peace. This is why you must pay attention not only to what you feel, but to what that feeling produces in you. Does it produce panic? Does it produce obsession? Does it make your mind run in circles? Does it make you imagine every possible disaster? Does it make you feel condemned, ashamed, and afraid of your future? Or does it produce stillness? Does it invite you to pray? Does it help you slow down? Does it bring a quiet awareness that something needs wisdom, patience, or surrender? Fear attacks your peace. Divine intuition protects your peace. Fear screams so loudly that you feel forced to react. Divine intuition may be quiet, but it keeps returning with holy consistency. It does not need to terrify you to get your attention. It simply remains. You may try to ignore it, but in the quiet moments, it is still there. Not as chaos, not as shame, but as a gentle knowing that says, look again. Wait, do not rush. Bring this closer to me. Beloved, my voice does not sound like torment. I may correct you, but I do not condemn you. I may warn you, but I do not torture you. I may close a door, but I do not crush your spirit while closing it. When I lead, there may be discomfort, but there will also be grace. There may be uncertainty, but there will also be peace beneath it. There may be a hard instruction, but it will not come wrapped in hopelessness. Fear often speaks in extremes. It says, you always fail. It says, you will never recover. It says, everyone leaves. It says, nothing good will happen. It says, if this goes wrong, your life is over. But my voice does not trap you in despair. My voice brings truth with grace. I may say, this is not for you. I may say, wait. I may say, release this. I may say, take courage and move forward. But when I speak, even if the instruction is hard, there is breath inside it. There is a place to stand. There is a quiet assurance that you are not alone. That is why stillness matters. When you are anxious, every thought sounds urgent. When you are exhausted, every option feels heavy. When you are desperate, even the wrong door can look like your only chance. So before you call something my voice, return to peace. Not perfect certainty. Peace, there is a difference. Certainty says, I know every detail. Peace says, I do not know every detail, but I know God is with me. Certainty wants control. Peace trusts my presence. Certainty demands the whole plan. Peace obeys the next step. Some of you are waiting for certainty before you obey, but I may be asking you to move with peace, not with full information. And some of you are moving without peace because the opportunity looks too good to question. This is why discernment is necessary. Do not assume every open door is from me. Do not assume every closed door is rejection. Do not assume every nervous feeling is a warning. And do not assume every desire is direction. Bring it all to me. Ask me to separate what is fear from what is wisdom. Ask me to show you what is a wound and what is a warning. Ask me to reveal what is anxiety and what is alignment. Fear will often pressure you to protect yourself at all costs. It will tell you to build walls, cut people off from a wounded place, reject every opportunity that stretches you, and call it discernment. But divine intuition does not harden your heart. My spirit can make you firm without making you cruel. My spirit can teach you boundaries without teaching you bitterness. My spirit can lead you away from danger without filling you with hatred. When I protect you, I do not need revenge to do it. When I guide you, I do not need panic to confirm it. When I close a door, I do not need confusion to explain it. My wisdom is clean. It may be firm, but it is not chaotic. It may be direct, but it is not cruel. It may require distance, but it does not require destruction. Now listen to this carefully. Sometimes what you fear is not wrong. Sometimes it is simply unfamiliar. A new beginning can feel uncomfortable. A healthy relationship can feel unfamiliar. A divine assignment can feel bigger than your ability. A necessary goodbye can hurt and still be obedience. A closed door can disappoint you and still be protection. So do not judge my will only by whether your emotions feel comfortable. Ask what is happening beneath the emotion. Is there peace beneath the tears? Is there steadiness beneath the trembling? Is there surrender beneath the discomfort? You can cry and still be in my will. You can feel nervous and still be walking by faith. You can grieve and still be released. You can feel stretched and still be led. Peace is not always the absence of emotion. Peace is the presence of my assurance beneath it. Fear says, run because you are scared. Divine intuition says, pause because God is speaking. Fear says, control everything. Divine intuition says, surrender this. Fear says, you are alone. Divine intuition says, God is guiding you. That is the difference I want you to learn. Do not let fear pretend to be God. But do not ignore my warning just because you are tired of being afraid. Come close. Become still. Look at the fruit. Listen for peace. Notice whether the voice inside you is pushing you into panic or leading you into surrender. Fear will push. My spirit will lead. Fear will accuse. My spirit will guide. Fear will threaten. My spirit will steady. And when you learn this difference, you will not be pulled so easily by every urgent voice, every emotional wave, every open door, or every painful memory. You will begin to recognize me not only in what opens, not only in what closes, but in the peace that tells you, this is the way. Walk with me. Confusion is not a sign of failure. It is an invitation to stop leaning on your own logic. Child, hear that again. Confusion is not always proof that you are weak. It is not always proof that you missed me. It is not always proof that you are behind, broken, or unable to hear my voice. Sometimes confusion is the holy interruption that stops you from running too far in the wrong direction. Sometimes confusion is the pause that keeps you from building a future on panic. Sometimes confusion is the moment where your own understanding reaches its limit and my wisdom begins to lead. You have been trying to reason your way into peace. You have been collecting opinions, comparing outcomes, measuring possibilities, and imagining every consequence. You have tried to make the decision make sense from every angle. And still, the fog remains. Why? Because some paths cannot be discerned by logic alone. Logic can count the cost. Logic can compare options. Logic can study the facts. Logic can make a list of pros and cons. But logic cannot always recognize the presence of God. Logic cannot always detect hidden motives. Logic cannot always see the spiritual weight behind a beautiful opportunity. Logic cannot always tell you why something looks right but feels wrong. This does not mean your mind is useless. I gave you a mind. I gave you wisdom. I gave you the ability to think, plan, observe, and learn. But I never asked your logic to become your Lord. I never asked your understanding to replace my voice. When your thoughts become louder than my peace, you begin to lean on what you can calculate instead of trusting what I am revealing. And that is where confusion grows. Because your mind wants certainty, but your spirit needs surrender. Your mind asks, how will this work? Your spirit asks, is God leading me? Your mind asks, what will people think? Your spirit asks, can I obey and still have peace? Your mind asks, what if I lose this? Your spirit asks, what if God is protecting me? Beloved, confusion can become a doorway when it brings you back to me. It becomes dangerous only when you stay inside your own thoughts and never return to my presence. You were not created to carry the full weight of the future in your mind. You were created to walk with me, one step, one prayer, one act of obedience, one surrender at a time. So today, I am not asking you to solve everything. I am asking you to stop worshiping the need to know everything. That need for total certainty has exhausted you. It has made you rehearse conversations that may never happen. It has made you grieve losses that have not occurred. It has made you prepare for betrayals that I never said were coming. And while you were trying to protect yourself from pain, you lost the quietness needed to hear me. Come back, child. Come back from the endless analysis. Come back from the fear of being wrong. Come back from the pressure to explain every step before you take it. Come back from the belief that one decision is more powerful than my ability to guide, correct, protect, and restore. You do not need to understand everything to obey me. You need to trust that I understand what you cannot. There is a peace that comes when you finally say, God, I do not know, but you do. There is a freedom that comes when you stop pretending you can control every outcome. There is clarity that arrives only after you lay down the demand to have clarity on your own terms. That is surrender. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is giving me room to lead. Surrender is not weakness. Surrender is wisdom that knows human sight is limited. Surrender is not silence because you have no questions. Surrender is bringing every question into my presence and saying, Lord, speak louder than my fear. So let this confusion bring you closer instead of making you run. Let it teach you to pause. Let it teach you to pray. Let it teach you to stop forcing your own answer. The fog is not your final place. It is the place where your striving ends and your listening begins. And when you stop leaning only on your logic, you will discover that I was not absent in the confusion. I was using the pause to teach you discernment. Child, not every open door is an invitation. Some doors are distractions dressed like opportunity. Some doors look promising from the outside, but when you step closer, your peace begins to disappear. And I need you to understand this. I do not close the wrong doors to punish you. I close them to protect you. I protect your peace. I protect your heart. I protect your future from places where you would have to abandon yourself just to be accepted. There are doors you have been trying to keep open because you are afraid of what closing them might mean. You're afraid that if you release this person, this plan, this opportunity, or this version of the future, nothing better will come. But fear of loss is not the same as divine direction. Sometimes you are not attached because it is mine. Sometimes you're attached because you are afraid to start again. Sometimes you keep looking back because familiar pain feels safer than unknown peace. But familiar does not always mean fruitful, and open does not always mean ordained. Pay attention to the cost of the door. Does it draw you closer to me, or pull you away from prayer? Does it bring peace, or keep you in constant confusion? Does it require obedience or compromise? Does it strengthen your spirit or slowly drain your life? A wrong door does not always look evil. Sometimes it looks impressive. Sometimes it looks logical. Sometimes it looks like the answer you wanted. Sometimes people will praise the same door that is quietly destroying your peace. But I see the private cost. I see the nights you cannot rest. I see the heaviness you keep explaining away. I see how much energy it takes for you to convince yourself that this is peace. Child, peace is not something you should have to constantly defend. When a door is mine, you may need courage to walk through it. but you will not need to betray your spirit to stay inside it. This does not mean everything I lead you into will be easy. Obedience can be hard, growth can feel uncomfortable. Healing can expose places you wanted to hide. A divine assignment can stretch you beyond what feels safe. But there is a difference between being stretched and being destroyed. There is a difference between holy discomfort and constant torment. There is a difference between a challenge that grows you and a door that drains you until you no longer recognize yourself. Some of you already know the door I am speaking about. You know because your peace leaves every time you reach for it. You know because you keep needing another sign after I have already shown you enough. You know because staying connected to it keeps you double-minded. You know because when you imagine releasing it, there is grief, but beneath the grief, there is relief. Do not ignore that relief. Sometimes relief is the sound of your spirit recognizing freedom. You may grieve the door and still be called to close it. You may miss the person and still be released. You may appreciate the opportunity and still know it is not yours. You may love the dream and still surrender the version of it that is not aligned with me. Closing the wrong door does not mean you failed. It means you are choosing peace over pressure. It means you are choosing obedience over appearance. It means you are trusting that what I remove is not greater than what I can restore. I know closing a door can feel painful. It can feel like losing time. It can feel like admitting you were wrong. It can feel like disappointing people. It can feel like letting go of the future you pictured, but a closed wrong door is not the end of your story. It is protection for the right one. You cannot fully receive what I am sending while your hands are clinging to what keeps confusing you. You cannot walk into peace while constantly returning to the place that steals it. You cannot hear my voice clearly while negotiating with what I have already asked you to surrender. Some doors must close quietly. No drama, no revenge, no long explanation, just obedience, just release. Just a holy decision that says, God, I choose your peace more than my need to keep this open. There are times when the most spiritual thing you can do is stop arguing with a door I did not bless. Stop trying to resurrect what I am laying to rest. Stop asking me to give peace to something I am asking you to release. Child, I know you are afraid of what happens after the door closes. You wonder, what if nothing opens again? But I am not limited by the door you lost. I am not dependent on the person who left. I am not trapped by the opportunity that passed. When I close a door, I remain with you in the hallway. When I ask you to release, I do not abandon your empty hands. When I lead you away, I also lead you toward. You may not see the new door yet, but do not confuse hidden with absent. What I am preparing may not be visible, but it is not imaginary. What I am protecting may not be understood now, but one day you will see why your peace mattered. So let the wrong door close. Let the conversation end if it keeps pulling you into chaos. Let the opportunity pass if it costs your integrity. Let the attachment break if it keeps you from healing. Let the plan change if my peace is not on it. And do not call it loss too quickly. Sometimes what you call loss, I call rescue. Sometimes what you call rejection, I call redirection. Sometimes what you call delay, I call preparation. I am not asking you to close doors out of bitterness. I am asking you to close doors out of trust. Bitterness says, I will close this because I want to hurt them. Trust says, I will close this because God is healing me. Bitterness says, I will never open my heart again. Trust says, I will not open my heart where God has not given peace. That is the difference. I want you free, not hardened. I want you wise, not fearful. I want you peaceful, not numb. So when you close the wrong door, do it with clean hands. Do it with prayer. Do it with a surrendered heart. Your peace is not weakness. Your peace is not selfish. Your peace is not something you must apologize for preserving. Peace is one way I guard your path. And when a door constantly steals it, pay attention. I may be showing you that the door was never meant to hold your future. Let me close what keeps confusing you. Let me remove what keeps pulling you from stillness. Let me protect what you are about to sacrifice. Because the right door will not require you to lose yourself to enter. And what is truly from me will carry my peace, even when it requires courage. Child, now I want to give you the checklist, not to make you anxious, not to control every small choice, but to help you slow down and listen. When your mind is crowded, you need a simple way to return to my peace before you move. Answer, commit, or release. The first question is this: does this path carry peace, or does it produce panic? Do not confuse peace with comfort. A path from me may stretch you, challenge you, and require courage. But underneath the trembling, there will be steadiness. Panic pushes. Peace leads. Panic rushes. Peace waits. When you sit with this decision in prayer, what happens inside you? Does your spirit settle, or does it become more chaotic? Does your breathing slow, or does fear tighten around your chest? I'm not asking whether the choice is easy. I'm asking whether my peace is present there. Sometimes the right path feels unfamiliar because it is new. Sometimes obedience feels uncomfortable because it is stretching old limits. But discomfort is not always a warning. Look deeper. Is there peace beneath the discomfort? Is there trust beneath the trembling? If yes, I may be leading you forward with courage. But if every time you reach for that door, your peace leaves, pay attention. If you must silence every warning in your spirit to keep moving, pause. What is from me will not require panic as proof. What is from me will not demand that you abandon stillness to receive it. The second question is this: does this path align with my character? I will never lead you into something that requires dishonesty, cruelty, pride, manipulation, or hidden compromise. I will not bless a path that asks you to betray integrity. I do not build holy futures on unholy foundations. Do not call it favor if it requires disobedience. Do not call it love if it pulls you away from truth. Do not call it wisdom if it forces you to ignore conviction. A path from me may humble you, but it will not make you false. It will call you higher. Ask yourself honestly, can I walk this path with clean hands? Can I bring this decision into the light without hiding the details? Can I pray about it without feeling the need to edit the truth? If something must stay hidden because exposure would reveal compromise, it needs deeper discernment. Child, sometimes you are asking for a new sign when I have already given you a clear standard. My will not contradict my nature. I am faithful, pure, patient, merciful, truthful, and holy. If a choice requires you to become less honest, less prayerful, or less obedient, pause. The third question is this: what fruit does this path produce over time? Do not judge only by the first feeling. Some things feel exciting at first because they flatter desire. Some people sound safe at first because they know what to say. But fruit is revealed with time. Look at the pattern. Has this path produced more peace or more confusion? More prayer or less prayer? More humility or more pride? More clarity or more double-mindedness? More healing or more emotional chaos? Do not only listen to promises, look at what is growing from the connection. One hard day does not mean a door is wrong. One fearful moment does not mean I am not leading, but repeated fruit matters. If a path continually produces secrecy, anxiety, compromise, exhaustion, and distance from me, stop explaining it away. Patterns reveal what first impressions often hide from you. A tree is known by its fruit, and so is a decision. Words can sound spiritual, Apologies can sound sincere. Opportunities can look impressive. But fruit reveals direction. If something keeps pulling you away from peace and obedience, do not ignore what the fruit is already showing you. The fourth question is this: have I brought this decision into stillness or only into overthinking? There is a kind of thinking that is wise, and there is a kind of thinking that becomes a storm. Wisdom observes. Fear surfaces. Wisdom listens. Fear rehearses every possible disaster. Overthinking can feel like preparation, but often it is fear wearing a responsible mask. It says, what if I choose wrong? What if I regret it? What if this is my last chance? What if God is disappointed? Child, those questions may sound careful, but they can become chains. Stillness is different. Stillness does not deny the seriousness of the decision. Stillness brings the decision into my presence and stops worshiping the need to control the outcome. Stillness says, Lord, I do not know everything, but I trust that you see what I cannot see. Ask yourself, have I actually prayed with surrender, or have I only thought with fear? Have I allowed silence, or filled every quiet moment with more analysis? Have I asked for my will to be confirmed, or have I truly asked for my will to be corrected by God? Sometimes the answer comes after your soul becomes quiet. Sometimes I remove urgency before I reveal direction. Sometimes I do not show the whole path because I am first healing the fear that would distort your vision. Do not rush the stillness. Let the noise settle enough for wisdom to speak. And the fifth question is this: can I obey this path without losing my peace, integrity, or closeness with God? This question gathers all the others. What I lead you into will not require you to lose me in order to gain it. I will not ask for your soul. There are doors that promise success but demand compromise. There are relationships that promise comfort but weaken calling. There are opportunities that promise increase but steal intimacy. There are decisions that look like relief but leave your spirit restless. Look beyond the promise. Ask what this path is costing you spiritually. Can you say yes and still have peace? Can you say no and still trust my provision? Can you continue without becoming double-minded? Can you release it without believing your life is over? These questions expose whether your heart is being led by faith, fear, or attachment. Sometimes the right path will cost you something. It may cost approval, comfort, timing, or the version of the future you imagined. Obedience can be expensive, but it will not cost your closeness with me. It will not require you to abandon prayer, truth, or holy peace. Now bring all 5 questions together. 1. Does this path carry peace or produce panic? 2. Does it align with my character? 3. What fruit does it produce over time? 4. Have you brought it into stillness? 5. Can you obey without losing peace, integrity, or closeness? Do not rush through this checklist. Pray through it. Write it down if you need to. Bring the real decision before me, not the polished version. Bring the desire, the fear, the pressure, the grief, the hope, and the attachment. I can handle the truth of your heart. This checklist is not a weapon to accuse yourself. It is a doorway into my presence. I am not trying to make you afraid of every choice. I am teaching you to stop walking blindly. Walking blindly means moving because pressure is louder than peace. Discernment means pausing. Discernment means you are willing to ask before you act. It means you are willing to let me correct your desire. It means you are willing to release what looks good but carries no peace. It means you trust that a pause with me is safer than a step without me. Some of you already feel the checklist revealing the truth. Maybe you see that the door you have been forcing does not carry peace. Maybe you see that fear has kept you from something I am asking you to enter. Maybe you see that the fruit has been speaking. Do not be afraid of what I reveal. Revelation is mercy. When I show you something, it is not to shame you, it is to free you. I reveal so I can heal, I expose so I can protect, I clarify so I can lead you with peace instead of pressure. So place the decision before me now. Open your hands in your heart. Do not grip it. Do not defend it. Do not hide it. Say, Lord, if this is from you, give me peace to walk through it. If it is not, give me courage to release it. That prayer moves you out of control and back into trust. And when you pray it sincerely, I will meet you there. Maybe not with every detail, maybe not with the full map, but with enough light for the next step. Child, enough light is still guidance from me. You do not need to walk blindly. You do not need to be controlled by urgency. You do not need to confuse panic with direction or fear with wisdom. You can slow down. You can listen. You can choose peace. I am not hiding from you. I am leading. The path that is mine will carry my presence. It will carry wisdom. Even when it requires courage, it will carry peace. Even when it stretches you, it will align with truth, produce clean fruit, survive stillness, and keep you close to me. That is how you discern. Now, child, let us pray. Do not pray with panic. Do not pray as if I am far away. Come to me with the decision that has been weighing on your heart. Come with the confusion, the fear, the pressure, and the door you do not know whether to open or close. I am listening. Say this with me from your heart. Father, I come before you with open hands. I admit that I do not see everything clearly. My thoughts have been loud. My emotions have been heavy. My heart has been afraid of choosing wrong. I have tried to figure it out in my own strength. I have replayed every option. I have searched for signs. I have carried pressure that was never meant for me. But today, I bring this decision back to you. I lay down panic. I lay down urgency. I lay down the fear of missing what is meant for me. I lay down the fear of losing what you are asking me to release. Lord, give me clear vision, not vision controlled by fear, not vision clouded by desire. Not vision shaped by pressure, loneliness, pride, or old wounds. Give me spiritual sight. Help me recognize the path that carries your peace. Help me separate fear from divine intuition. Help me know the difference between a warning from you and a wound from my past. Help me stop forcing doors that you have not opened. Help me stop grieving doors that you closed to protect me. If this path is from you, give me peace to walk through it. If this path is not from you, give me courage to release it. If I am moving too fast, slow me down. If I am standing still because of fear, strengthen me to move. If I'm attached to something that drains my spirit, help me surrender it. If I am rejecting something because it feels unfamiliar, teach me to trust you beyond my comfort zone. Wherein, Father, silence every voice that is not from you. Silence panic. Silence shame. Silence people-pleasing. Silence old disappointment. Silence the voice that says I am alone. Let your voice rise within me with peace, truth, and wisdom. I do not want to walk blindly. I do not want to be led by fear. I do not want to decide from pressure. I want to walk with you. One step at a time, one act of obedience at a time, one surrendered breath at a time. Teach me to trust the limb, even when I wanted the full map. Teach me to obey the next step, even when I cannot see the entire road. Teach me to rest in your timing, even when my heart wants immediate answers. Lord, guard my peace. Guard my mind from overthinking. Guard my heart from false attachments. Guard my path from beautiful distractions. Guard my future from doors that look open but do not carry your presence. Give me humility to receive your answer, even if it is not the answer I expected. Give me courage to close what must close. Give me faith to enter what you have opened. Give me patience to wait where you have not yet spoken. Give me wisdom to know when peace is leading and when fear is pushing. I trust you with what I cannot control. I trust you with what I cannot understand. I trust you with what I cannot see yet. You are not hiding from me. You are leading me. You are near. You are faithful. You are steady. You are not the author of confusion. You are the giver of peace. So I receive your peace now. I receive your guidance now. I receive the courage to pause, listen, and obey. In your presence, the fog begins to lift. In your presence, panic loses its power. In your presence, I remember that I am not alone. Amen. Child, keep this prayer close. Return to it before the decision. Return to it when fear tries to rush you. Return to it when the noise rises again. And remember this, I will not abandon you in the fog.